guys, in today's video we are going to be adding fractions with unlike denominators, so two fractions that do not have the same bottom number. In the last video that I had posted, we were learning how to find the common denominator of fractions that don't have the same denominator. So now we're taking a step further and we're going to add them. So if you have a piece of paper and a pencil, I would like you to get that out, and I would like you to write the problem 1/4 plus 3/6. Right away you should be thinking that these two fractions do not have the same bottom number, so we can't add them how they are. Once you have this written down, I'm going to walk you through 3 simple steps that we can use to solve this problem. Our first step, and I would like you guys to follow along with me, is to find a common denominator by listing the multiples of both 4 and 6. Una wants to join. So we're going to list the multiples of 4 and 6. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. And 4 times 4 is 16. I'm going to stop there. And now I'm going to list the multiples of 6. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. And 6 times 4 is 24. Now, I said we need to find the common denominator. So we're going to look at our multiples, and we are going to see the first multiple that they have in common. So as you're looking, you should see that our common denominator is going to be 12. That's the first multiple they have in common. So I would like you to circle that number 12. And now we're going to move on to our step 2. Our step 2 is what we did yesterday in the video, which says finding equivalent fractions with the common denominator using our funky 1. So we need to find equivalent, which means equal fractions, using our common denominator. So let's start with 1/4. You're going to write 1/4, and you're going to multiply 1/4 by that funky 1, and you're going to get a fraction that has a denominator of 12, because that's our common denominator. And now you're going to think to yourself, 4 times what can give me 12? And you should know that that is 3. So remember, inside our funky 1, our numerator and our denominator are the same. So 3/3, or 3/3, goes inside our funky 1, and then you multiply across. 1 times 3 is 3, and 4 times 3 is 12, which is our common denominator. And you're going to follow the same steps for 3/6. So you're going to write 3/6 times the funky 1 equals a fraction with a denominator of 12, our common denominator. And then you think to yourself, 6 times what equals 12? And you should know that that's 2. So 2/2, or 2/2, goes inside your funky 1. And then you multiply across. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12, our common denominator. And we found our equivalent fraction, 6/12. And now our final step is to add your fractions with the common denominator, those equivalent fractions that we just found. So you are going to add 3/12 plus 6/12. And be very careful when you do this. If you remember, our denominator does not change. So right away, it's helpful to just write the denominator of 12. We spent all that time finding the common denominator. Don't change it now. And then you just add the numerator. So 3 plus 6 is 9. So you get an answer of 9/12. Remember, you cannot add fractions that don't have the same denominator. So these are 3 simple steps that you can use to help you add these fractions.